everyone, Lee here, and I'm so excited that you are watching or listening to this week's episode of Leading with Lee because this is the first ever episode. And what better way for us to start this vlog and podcast by going down memory lane to the first ever Leading with Lee seminar. It was held last year, but there are gems in there that will encourage you and empower you in your own personal leadership. So instead of calling it a throwback, let's call it a throw forward. Check this out. Once again, thank you for being here. I am Lee. Thank you, Melody, for that. Thank you for that introduction. And so we're going to get started. So I hope that you brought pens and paper or something to write with, because I believe in taking notes, right? If you're coming to anything, you want to learn something or grow in a certain way, you will come prepared, wouldn't you? So I encourage you to take notes. I'm going to be giving you a lot of information. And yes, you can take notes on your phone. We all are technologically advanced. We don't have issues with that. All right, so let's get started. So this is my statement of truth. I believe that every person is a leader. And every person has the capacity for leadership or has a level of leadership. Okay? I believe that every person is a leader. And everyone has a capacity for leadership and a level of leadership. Whether you babysit kids, whether you're a teacher, whether you do like HR or whatever the case might be, you have a capacity for leadership and you have a space in which you work. Okay? And you have the ability to expand and grow that space. Okay? You have an ability to actually increase that thing. So I believe that there are two areas that every single person has to understand you're affected by in leadership, okay? It's how you lead yourself and how you lead others. Both of them work together. It's very important for you to understand that if you can't lead yourself, how can you expect other people to follow you? Let's be real. How would you feel if you had a trainer that was overweight, that came, like literally he literally walks into the gym. He's like, hey, he got donuts in his hand. He's like, hey, you ready to lift weights today? You would look at that trainer crazy, wouldn't you? You'll be like, fam, you can't train me. You need to be trained because you're not doing what you're asking me to do. And the reality is, in order for you to be effective in leadership, you have to understand it starts with you and then you relate that same information to others. But you can't lead others if you're not leading yourself. So there's a partnership between how you lead people and how you do what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Now, write this down. This is my definition for leadership. It's going to develop, it's going to grow, it's going to change over time. But this is my definition for leadership. Leadership is seeing something that has not happened yet and instructing people to go that way. Leadership is seeing something that has not happened yet and instructing people to go that way. Okay? So we're going to talk about 7 principles today, and these are those 7 principles that I'm going to share with you. So the first principle I'm going to talk about is vision. Okay? The second principle is being a learner or learning. The third principle is being disciplined or having discipline. The fourth principle I'm going to talk about is value or values. The fifth principle is team. The sixth principle is meditation and introspection. The seventh principle is risk taking or being a risk taker. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Vision, learning, discipline, values or value, team, meditation or introspection, and risk taking. So the first one we're going to talk about is vision. What do you see? Vision is defined as the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. You're at an event right now that I saw in my head. About 5 or 6 months ago, I saw doing this in my head. You're sitting in a vision. You're sitting in something that I conceptualized in my head, and I start making decisions to put things together so that this could happen. So it's thinking about something and then planning to do it. It's not enough to think about it. It's not enough to have it in your head. You have to act on what you're thinking about, because it's just pointless, really. It's ineffective. You need to make decisions based on what you're seeing in your head. So I have 2 points. This is why vision is so important. It brings directions to goals that you want to accomplish. That's the first thing. I think it was a few months ago, I was on YouTube and I was listening to this woman. Her name is Annie F. Downs, and she's a speaker. And one thing that Annie was talking about was having a thesis for your life, having a vision statement to which every decision you make is connected to that idea. The interesting thing about that, I started to think about my own life. I believe that what I'm supposed to do, which Melody said when she introduced me, is a part of what I'm supposed to do in my life is to train, equip, and empower people. That's what I believe I'm supposed to do. That's what I feel like I'm in the earth to do. No matter what my title is, no matter what my job or whatever, at the foundation of what I'm doing, I'm trying to empower, I'm trying to inspire, and I'm trying to equip. If you have come to this event and you don't get inspired, you don't feel like you got equipped, and you don't feel like you've got empowered, I need to check my vision statement, right? I need to check it, because obviously what I'm doing is not lining up with what I'm saying that I'm trying to accomplish. And when you're trying to accomplish a goal, you have to be very clear. There has to be clarity in how you accomplish your goal. It can't be frivolous. You just can't be doing everything. Because if you're doing too much, people are like, what do you do? And you're like, I don't know. Really? Like, know what you want to accomplish. And this is interesting. I literally had a conversation with my best friends. I've known her for like 10 years. And we were having a conversation literally about this thing. And I was talking to her and I was like, hey, I'm about to do this leadership event. And I was telling her and everything. And she was like, you know, Lee, you've been doing it like your whole life. And when I stopped and thought about it, I was like, yeah, that is right. It's interesting because when I was 15 years old, I was a youth council president at my church. And so literally I was organizing people. I was trying to equip them. I was trying to give them resources. I was trying to give them things so they could accomplish the goals that they want to do, right? I was trying to do everything within I was trying to help them get somewhere. When I was in college and undergrad, I started 2 organizations in undergrad. I had started a campus Bible study at my school. I was trying to equip, I was trying to train, and I was trying to inspire. When I started this thing, it was called The Forum, where we actually talked about social justice and politics and all those different things. I was trying to equip, I was trying to inspire, and I was trying to empower. Like, that same thread has been through everything that has happened in my life. What's great about that is this. It helps people be clear about what I'm trying to accomplish. Because the second point is this. It helps me say yes and no to things that do or do not line up with my vision. The powerful thing about vision is literally being able to say no. If you came to me today and was like, hey, Lee, I want to offer you a basketball contract to go play for the Lakers. That's a great idea. I'll take that money. Listen. You offer me a contract to go play. Hey, I might just get out there. I might break a whole lot because I haven't been training to play ball, but I'll try. Like, I would try to do it, but that doesn't line up with my vision. Yeah. Trying to hoop. How would I look? No, it doesn't line up with my vision. If you came to me right now and was like, hey, Lee, I want you to get into the weightlifting business. Now, listen, I'm getting back in the gym, but I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder because that doesn't line up with my vision. It's important that you understand. You have to be clear about what you want to accomplish. So the second thing we're going to deal with and talk about is learning. It's learning. I think there are 4 types of learning. Okay? I'm going to talk about 4 primary types of learning. The first one is visual. And visual is defined as the way of learning in which information is associated with images. How many would consider themselves a visual learner? Okay. Okay, we got quite a few visual people in the room. Okay, go. The second one is audible or audio learning. It's learning primarily through listening. How many would consider yourself an audio learner? Okay. I got some. Okay. Here's the other two. Kinesthetic learning. How many? It requires one's ability to touch materials to learn. People changing their minds in the room. Help God. It's cool. And then the last one, which is probably my favorite definition, is environmental or experiential learning. Learning through reflection on doing. It is you develop knowledge, skills, and values from direct experiences outside of traditional academic settings. Probably everyone in the room is probably an environmental learner, right? It's all three being involved in what you're doing, okay? Now, what's really cool about this is I actually start to think a lot about that very concept. You know what? I am an environmental learner. Something really cool happened to me about 3 or 4 years ago. So when I was in college, as I said, my undergrad degree is in leadership. And the interesting thing about that is this. I had to do an internship for college. And what's really cool about this internship is I had to learn. I literally had to pick a organization or certain thing to go work for. And so in this process, I went and decided to work in my city government in my hometown. So the mayor at the time, I worked in the Intergovernmental Affairs and Policy Office. What was so cool about this experience was this. We had a sister city project with a international city. I don't know if you know what a sister city project is, but basically a sister city project is this. Well, a city from another part of the world will partner with an American city and they exchange culture, they exchange environments, they do all these different things. It's really, really cool. And so what ended up happening was I'm working in this office and the sister city we had was Mabor, Senegal. So the mayor of Mabor came, other dignitaries came, literally the consul to the United States was in my hometown, like all these dignitaries was there. And so they had this really cool meeting, which was really great. And then what happened in this meeting was this. They met and all this stuff happened. And so my mayor's like, hey, Lee, I'm gonna need you to read the proclamation for this event. What? Huh? And I'm like, whoa, fam, you're asking me to read the proclamation. He was like, no, I need you to read the proclamation. So I'm like, I'm freaking out about it. I'm like, okay, I'll do this. So I'm preparing to do this. And so we're getting ready to go downstairs for the ceremony. The ceremony was held in the City Hall area of the building. And so what he does is he does this. He says, all the staff is about to get ready to go in and everything. And literally he's like, okay, staff, everybody go on the elevator. Lee, Lee, I'm about to go on the elevator because I'm on staff. He was like, wait. I was like, why is he making me wait? Okay. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm on staff. What you doing? He makes me wait. And then he does something really interesting. Oh, he shut off. He gets off what he does is he gets on the elevator. All the dignitaries get on the elevator with him. And he says, Lee, come on. I was like, ¿qué? Whoa, fam. So I get on this elevator and I'm standing on his elevator these people have power. They can move stuff. But that experience and that exposure did something so powerful to me. It made me believe, I can do this. See, the greatest thing you can do in your leadership is expose yourself to something. Exposure is necessary for your growth. The way you keep growing, the way you keep learning is through exposure. One of the primary, the moment you stop learning is the moment you die. And as a leader, you have to continue to do that. Whether you're listening to podcasts, whether you're reading books, whatever you're doing, you have to ensure that you are doing those things to continue to grow and go forward. And that is a part of the process for your leadership. It's necessary. It is necessary that you expose yourself. You may not like to read. Go hang out with some people that's doing something that you want to do. Like there's several ways you can learn. Okay? Thank you for watching or listening to this week's episode of Leading with Lee. I hope that you were inspired, equipped, and empowered. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe today. And to get updates about all the things that I'm doing, connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lee A. Scott II or Lee A. Scott II. I hope that you will tune in for the next episode of Leading with Lee. Much love, and let's get started.